in Florida, Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, it's great to have you on the program today. Thank you so much for being here. Your reaction to what we saw yesterday, the graffiti, the vandalism, the protests, the pepper spray, the burning of the American flag, and nothing was said from Biden or Harris.
My response is clear. They do not want to piss off voters in the Democrat Party and in key states because they're trying to win the presidential election. This has been going on for more than a year, since October 7th. The White House, under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they've been slow to respond. They've been tepid in their support. They actually have held back Israel from doing what needs to be done. And quite frankly, it is Donald Trump, it is the Republicans on Capitol Hill are the ones who have been pushing for Israel to do everything that is necessary. The protests, the anti-Semitism, this is all coming from the radical left wing of the Democrat Party. This is that uncommitted vote against Joe Biden in Minnesota and in other states where they want the Democrat Party to completely shift away from Israel. But the truth is, and the reality is that our nation is always going to stand with Israel. The lack of statement from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris speaks volumes. And by the way, neither one of them greeting Bibi Netanyahu when he landed in America, neither one of them, or Kamala Harris in particular, not being at the joint session yesterday, that told the world and tells the American people all we need to hear.
Congressman, I want to pivot to the speech that we got last night from the president. Did anything in that speech convince you that he is still mentally fit to lead this country for the next 6 months?
No, and it didn't convince anybody else either. People already are saying that speech meant nothing, whatever, move on. The only people who are climbing onto it are the people who want to now praise Joe Biden after they were vilifying Joe Biden for the last 3 weeks. People will play politics with it, but that statement meant absolutely nothing. The reality is that the Democrats put a knife in the back of Joe Biden because they realized he can't win. It's that simple.
Representative Donalds, it's Charles Payne. I want to get back to these protests and how ugly and divisive they are, because it's very reminiscent of the Summer of Love a couple of years ago. And I bring it up because Vice President Harris is running as a prosecutor against a felon. And yet she, and along with the Democratic Party, stoked those, those protests and those riots that ripped down businesses, particularly small businesses. And looking the other way, too, it's not just looking the other way not to piss off your voters, but it feels like a de facto rubber stamping of the destruction of America.
I couldn't agree more. People need to remember that Kamala Harris set up a GoFundMe page to bail rioters out of jail back in the Summer of Love of 2020. That's what she did, and she did it because she was pandering then, and she's pandering now. That's why you're not going to hear any major statements of condemnation. That's why you're not going to see Kamala Harris meet Bibi Netanyahu in public with a photo op, with the two podiums side by side, both giving statements to the entire world of how important Israel is to the United States of America. You're not going to see that because all she wants to do is pander her way to the White House.
Congressman, let's talk about Donald Trump for just a moment, because he had an opportunity to hold his first rally since Biden dropped out of the race. He's been so good at hitting his track record and also policies and what he would do moving forward to help the American people, especially on the issues where they're really suffering, for example, the economy and the border. He did call Kamala Harris incompetent. He called her a lunatic. While many don't necessarily disagree with his assessment, they also feel like, you know what, stay away from those kinds of words, stick to the issues. What do you think?
Look, we know that the president is going to be a fighter for the American people. He's going to make sure he puts up a great case about what he's going to do as the 47th president of the United States. He's really been doing that for the last 2 years. We always know in politics, you have to take an opportunity to define your opponent. He's doing that now, but I fully expect they're going to be right back to the consistent focus of what matters for the American people. At the end of the day, it is fixing our border. It's getting a robust economy, not reliant on massive government spending. It's about having sound foreign policy across the world. And what we know is that Kamala Harris does not have a track record of success. And when she's been put in charge of situations, she's failed. Well, we have to call that what it is. That's incompetence, and the president is right to say it.
Congressman Byron Donalds, great to see you today. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.